I somehow made being shit at running my job. Basically, back in 2023, I started sharing my running journey online. I started posting screenshots of my below average running pace on TikTok and was able to grow like a huge community of like-minded people so that it's now part of my job and what I do pretty much every day. So basically, I am a professional athlete. No, I am joking. Please don't. Please don't come for me in the comments. Today I'm going to bring you along for my day. It's a very normal day in my life. And as I do, I'm going to answer some questions I was asked over on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, please go ahead. And it's going to be running focused and kind of general fitness and workout related questions. So if you want to get to know me a little bit better and how I went from being like, honestly, probably one of the most unfit people in the UK to running many races, doing a marathon and then an ultra marathon, and now I talk about running a lot. And honestly, like, if you'd have told me that this was my future a few years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. If you were in a similar position to me, or you're somewhere along in your running journey and you don't think that you're good enough to do something, or you think that your goals are too big, this video is for you. It is just after 9. I've made myself a coffee in my gorgeous shark mug, which I'm obsessed with. But now it's time to sit at my desk and I'm going to bring you along. It is so dark today in here. I promise I don't work in a cave. I'm not a vampire. It's just super grey today, which I'm not going to lie, I secretly love. Let's go. If you're a regular viewer, you might have noticed that I've had my hair done. I had it done yesterday. We've gone darker. And the fringe is back with a vengeance. I don't know what it is about autumn, but when autumn rolls around, the fringe, she starts speaking to me. She says, cut me. So I did. Well, I didn't. My hairdresser did. I've actually had so many different hair colours since I started this channel. I'll see if I can find clips and I can overlay. I loved being blonde at the time. Looking back now, I'm a brunette girl. I am such a physical list person at the minute and I'm loving it. Josh and I got matching... well, we got our different initials, but we got matching journals. So this is the plan for the day. Post vintage parcels. This is in no order, by the way. Post vintage parcels, make some carousels. YouTube planning. I've got to run. It is pissing it down right now though, so later. Film this video, which will take up quite a bit of time, basically my whole day. I've got to do some concepts for an ad, and then there's some other worky bits that I won't film because it will be incredibly boring, and I just need to crack on with. Were you a sporty child? Absolutely not. I was like the total opposite of what you would consider to be a sporty child. I've said this before and I will say it again. I think that school was a big reason why I wasn't a sporty child. Obviously, we're all forced in the UK to do PE as part of the curriculum, and I just don't think that there was really any encouragement to enjoy sport. It was like, if you're good at it, great, and if you're not good at it, so no, I was not a sporty child. I did try, to be fair, I entered some swimming galas, came dead last. I did a cross-country run, came last out of 60 something people. And I still remember that to this day, and it was super, super embarrassing. And I just never thought that enjoyment and sports were said in the same sentence. I didn't understand it, and I just kind of took that as an excuse to not really try anything as I started growing up. And yeah, that's why I was never really into team sports or anything like that. To be honest, even now, I don't really love team sports. I much prefer just doing kind of my own thing. As I got older, into my 20s, I did then go to the gym, and I followed a lot of Natasha Ocean's plans. I love her. I think she's actually one of the main reasons that I started to see exercise in a different way. And she really opened my eyes into that. You have to find something that you enjoy to stick with it. There was a specific video, actually, I'll try and find it if I can remember what it is, that really, where something clicks and I was like, oh, maybe I can focus on doing what I enjoy rather than having such a narrow-minded view of sports and exercise. So yeah. It is much later in the day now and it's so dark and it's making me feel so tired. Oh, it's still pissing it down. It's actually not much later. It's 12:24, but it's been a few hours. I've basically just had my headphones... Oh, I've not put my mic on. One sec. Oh, Ian? Okay, great. Sorry, I'm not going to refilm that. Technical problem. I have just done a couple of hours of carouseling and just general work. And now I've just finished writing my friend's birthday card. How cute is this? So I need to post this when I go out and do the Vinted stuff. But basically now I'm going to start packing up some Vinted stuff. We're going to get into some more questions. I think it honestly because I thought I was really bad at it. I thought that in order to like do sports and shit, you had to be good at it. And I didn't want people to see me fail, honestly. I think that was like the main thing. I was just like this little kid that was just really, I don't know, scared of getting it wrong, which is kind of sad now because I feel like I probably missed out on quite a bit. But yeah, that's why it took me so long. Not fit. Especially not like cardiovascular fit. I was kind of strong-ish just because I did do weight training. And obviously that is good for your cardio health as well, but I didn't do really any cardio. I didn't really feel like I needed to. So like in terms of stamina and all of that sort of thing, I think I was pretty unfit, to be fair. Why did you start running is also a question that I get asked quite a lot. Like, why did you start if you hated it so much? I've started running, like I've ran on and off for maybe a few years, but like, so in 2019 I did a half marathon, I trained for that. And after that I quit. I've got full video on that, so if you want to know more about that then you can. But basically I trained for it all wrong, I hated it, I did everything that you shouldn't do. So I did this half marathon, finished it, was really ashamed of the time that I'd done it in, and yeah, and then I didn't run for years again. And then honestly, I started running again a few years later, back in 2023, because Josh and I were in the countryside for like 2 weeks, and I really wanted to exercise, but we didn't have like a gym nearby. So I was like, oh, I'll just go out for a run. And then it kind of started again there, and I think it got to the point where I wanted to kind of prove to myself that I could do something and I could stick to it. I think it was just out of pure stubbornness, to be honest. I was just highly motivated. And then honestly, the thing that made me keep running was you guys and like finding that community of people. I don't know how committed I would have been to training if I'd have not had people cheering me on. And it always makes me feel bad that like you guys don't have that and most people don't have that, because I think it's like a very special thing to have. Right, it's time to go and tackle the outside world. Right, we made it out into the pouring rain. I thought while we were walking we could do a quick rapid fire of some more of these questions that I've got. Well, I don't not wear it. However, I used to wear it all the time. Like I used to wear it on like any run, even like a 3K run. I think the more I got comfortable with running, the more I knew what I needed, what I didn't need, and I just don't now feel the need to carry a running vest all the time. I feel like when I get to do more long distance stuff, absolutely will. Yeah, that's why. The next question is, if you could be good at any sport, what sport would it be? And I think I'd pick something really fun and something that I would never even try, like gymnastics, or something quite like daredevil-y, like maybe like F1, or I don't know, something that's really out there. Just because I'm such a wimp. And I think if I could choose to be good at something that's like crazy, that would be really cool. I've done it. I have sent the parcels off, I've got some stamps, I've got my lunch. The next question was, do you have a dream, oh, my umbrella's just broke. Do you have a dream marathon that you want to do? Yes, have a marathon that I really want to do, and I'm running it in spring next year. Oh my God. Scarily out of breath. When people are like, Emily, you must be so fit, like all that running that you do, like you did an ultra marathon. must be so athletic. Yeah, right. Oh my god. Where has this day gone? I am shattered. I think it's because it's been so dark and I haven't really done any exercise today. I was fully intending to go on a run today when the rain stopped. Plot twist, the rain didn't stop and now it's pitch black. Because I'm in no position to talk about motivation and some of the other questions that you guys have asked, I'm going to pass it over to future Emily, who is going to pick up the slack. Over to you, babe. Emily here. How do you stay so motivated? Well, I think from my previous clip you could tell that I'm not always motivated, and there are going to be days where it comes easier than others. So I guess sometimes what you can do is just, I think getting out the door is the hardest part of it. Once you're out the door, most of the time you're good. So there's that, you could just force yourself. Other things that you could do something that you enjoy. Like, if you have something outside of running that you love, for me, like Pilates or whatever, make sure you have a balance of things that maybe you're not so motivated for, but things that you enjoy and that it's easier to go out and do it. Also, trying to make your runs more enjoyable is a big thing. I think a lot of people forget that you can try and make things more fun, and you don't always need to be in the pain cave. It doesn't always need to be torture. So like saving a podcast or a certain audiobook for your run, and you're only allowed to listen to it if you run, is a great example of that. And also just like creating a good playlist, give you something to look forward to. Like, can you do something at the end of the run that you can look forward to? Because even though it's only small things, it will make a big difference in my opinion. And it's okay to not be motivated all the time. Sometimes you do have to push through it and go out and do it anyway, or like move things around. If it's going to mean that you actually do it, don't be scared to go off your original plan. I think some people, especially in the online fitness space, might massively disagree with me, and that's okay, because the funny thing is that we are all different. And I found that being flexible, kind to myself, and doing things that I actually enjoy make me go out and do it. So there are different approaches to it, and it doesn't mean that it's wrong. Next question: how do you deal with comparison? I get asked this all the time from other slow runners like me. Look, I don't think there's like one easy answer, but it took a long time for me to be comfortable with my slower pace and like just going out and doing it anyway. Clearly, because I quit. I've quit running so many times because I was so insecure. I think if you get really bogged down in other people's paces on Strava or on social media, the cool thing about social media is that you have control somewhat over what you see. So mute those people that make you feel bad, unfollow them. Like, if it is affecting you and your mental health or your mood, just get rid. Honestly, get rid. I think the reason why comparison is such a big thing is because online we see mainly people that are running super fast. There's a lot of athletes, there's a lot of fit influencers who are basically athletes, right? And that's all that we see. We think that everybody's running faster. That's how I felt when I first started my running journey, and it's just not true. Like, there are so many different types of runners, and that is actually the truth. And those people that are like super fast and super fit are a tiny percentage of the overall population. Like, most people are like you and me. Actually, you know what? Most people aren't running, so you're already ahead of where you think you are. So try and remember that. I know it's easier said than done. Find more like-minded people, create community with them, follow more people that align with your fitness goals or your views, and everything will start to make a lot more sense. Okay, I'm going to finish this run and I'll check in when I've finished. It's only going to be a short one. This is very much just a mental health run for me. Did it? I ended up running 5k. I wasn't expecting to do that. My legs are so sore from reformer Pilates. But running on tired legs is actually quite a good thing because I've got to get used to it for the training that I'm going to start doing soon. I feel really happy with that. It's future Emily reporting. Even if you move your run, it still means you can have a good one if you try again tomorrow. Yeah, I'm still yawning. That was the run that I was supposed to do. Now I think what I'm gonna do is maybe read for a little bit and then make some dinner. I love talking about books. This wasn't a question. This has nothing to do with fitness. But I'm gonna tell you what I've been reading and you're gonna listen. So the last 2 books that I've read, they're both fantasy books. Shield of Sparrows and Direbound. And then at the minute, I'm currently reading 3 books, which is really optimistic and honestly probably quite stupid. I'm reading Wuthering Heights. I'm reading Crescent City Book 1, which is House of Earth and Blood. And then I'm also reading If It Makes You Happy. So that's what I'm reading at the minute. So I'm probably going to read this for a little bit and then I'll make some dinner and we'll get into some more questions. But right now, I'm exhausted. Dinner tonight is goat's cheese, spinach and red onion butternut squash roll, which looks like that. This isn't an ad, by the way. I like the stuff, so I order it. Otherwise I won't cook. I'm going to make this now, even though I'm really not hungry at the minute, because if I leave it any longer, I won't cook and I'll do what we did last night and get a pasta evangelist on delivery. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be a good girl and I'm going to make my dinner. I've also had a lot of questions around how I build up to my ultra and how long it took, because it is quite a big jump to go from like not being able to run 3k to then running a 50-kilometer ultra marathon. Whoa. I would say all of the running that I did from when I actually started running again, so from like spring summer 2023 up to my ultra, which was October 2024, that was all leading up to the ultra and like doing little milestones along the way. So I started off by doing a 5k plan, then a 10k plan and so on. And I've used the Runner app, by the way, for all of those. I'll leave a link below if you want to get a free trial of that, but it's a fantastic running app. And I've been working with them for a long time now. But yeah, that's how long it took, basically from May 2023 to October 2024. And the actual ultramarathon plan itself, I think, was 10 or 12 weeks, something like that. But I would consider like everything I've done up until that plan part of my ultramarathon training. I just didn't know I was going to run an ultramarathon at that point. So yeah, that's how long it took. I also have quite a few questions around like workout routines, what's best, what I personally do. And honestly, it changes. Just taking something very hot at the microwave. It changes. So like where I am at the minute, if you follow me on Instagram, you might already know this, but I actually cancelled my gym membership, I think at the end of August or September, something like that. Basically, 2 reasons. One, we're moving soon and I would have had to cancel it anyway, and I was coming up to the end of my contract, so it was just easier to cancel it then. And secondly, I hadn't been going since like May or something. So instead, I used that money and bought some extra tokens on ClassPass, which is like a class booking app in London, and I'm sure they've got it in other cities as well. And I've just been hooked on Reformer Pilates, and I try and go twice a week, which I was never doing at the gym. And I just feel like it's better because I'm doing it more. However, with that being said, when I start properly training and when I've moved, I am going to join a gym. That is what I'm doing at the minute, but I think for the most part, it's like finding things that you enjoy is super, super important, because it takes some of the like need for motivation out of it. Like with the Reformer Pilates, I go because I genuinely love it, and it's just easier to make yourself go if you're doing something that you enjoy. If you're doing something that you hate, you know, people will say, oh, you've got to power through, blah, blah, blah. But like, what is the point in doing something that you hate? For me, I've just never really understood it. It's probably why I'm never going to be a legit athlete, because I won't push myself to do things that I really don't want to do, and things that I don't enjoy. I think it's a personal preference, but that's my view on it anyway. So in an ideal world, when I've moved, I will be running 3 times a week. I'll be doing strength training at the gym maybe once a week, and then I'll be doing Pilates ideally twice a week, but maybe once, because my body is just so tired when I do strength training and running together. There's something I've never really got my head around as to like how to do it all, and I don't have the answer for that. So if anybody else has the answer, that would be great. But as a rule, you should be doing some form of strength training alongside running, just to prevent injury. I think especially for long distance stuff where you really need the strength in your legs. So yes. Grand reveal. Hi friends, so I just had a lovely dinner and now I'm getting ready for bed. Well, I'm not getting ready for bed, but I'm getting unready to watch Traitors and then to carry on reading my book when I get into bed. Another one of the questions that I got was, how do I fit everything in? And I think this is maybe more around like when I am training for something, because at the minute obviously I'm not training for it and I'm actually not running that many kilometers per week at the minute at all. So I'm gonna assume that they mean when I'm training for something big. Honestly, I think there's one thing that I have to say, I am freelance, so it means that I am more in charge of my own schedule. I don't work a 9-to-5 job Monday to Friday, so my time is my own, and that obviously just makes training for things like this so much easier, and that is really important to consider when looking at other people online, especially like influencers and content creators. It is their job, and so you have the time because it's just what you do as part of your day. And I think that's one thing to keep in mind. I had to move, that lighting was awful. Not that this is much better, but at least we have the glow of my computer screen. I am all ready to relax now, step away from devices and just have a really chill evening, which is one of my most favourite things to do in the world. This wasn't a question, but it is kind of within the theme of this video and something that I really briefly wanted to speak about. And that is, if you are at the start of your fitness journey or you're somewhere in the middle of it and you're feeling a bit stuck and a bit down and just a bit negative about it, you don't need to be fit to do that workout class or to sign up to that race or to start your fitness journey. You don't even need getting fitter to be part of starting. Like, I did start thinking like I wanted to get fit, but now I move more for my mental health than my physical health. And exercising and working out when you find what you truly enjoy can be fun. Not all the time, obviously, because we like to push ourselves and do hard things, and that isn't always the funnest thing to do. And if you're feeling lost or you're feeling like you don't know where to start, that is so normal and it's so valid. Even people who are much fitter than us and kind of know what they're doing feel that way sometimes. So in the nicest way possible, you're not special. We all have those feelings. It's just about doing it anyway. And that's what this channel is. It's like, I really want to encourage you to run, even if you're really slow or if you don't think that you're fit. If you enjoy it, that is the only reason that you need. And also, if you take the pressure off pace and all of these different things, then you will enjoy it more. It is a fact. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit different to what I normally do, but I really enjoyed making it. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That is the easiest way for you to tell me that you like this video and you want to see more videos like this. It honestly really does help. There's also like a little hype button somewhere in the bottom. It's a YouTube thing. If you wouldn't mind clicking that, that would be also great. And if you have any other questions that weren't included in this video, please feel free to pop them below and I will include them in a future one, or I'll just answer them straight away, which is probably more likely, to be fair. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.